Our show for tonight for Blaine Fowler, David Nixon, and Brian Logan, and all of us at BYU TV Sports. I'm Dave McCann. Head coach Kalani Sitake show coming up next.
Coming up on BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, the Cougars head coach is with us to review the rivalry game with Utah, preview Wisconsin week, and team captain Butch Powell is our special guest. BYU Football with Kalani Sitake starts now.
Sitake wants no part of the sideline. Look, he'll spin and come back in just to try and run somebody over.
Open is Sitake, wide open.
Watch Kalani Sitake. What a nice job on Gerard Newby. BYU wins it for Liddell Edwards.
Kalani Sitake as the new football coach at BYU.
It's great to be back home.
The kick is on its way. It is good! It is good! Hit! The Cougars hit him!
I'm very lucky to be coaching these young men.
Away to the end zone! Between the tackles for the touchdown!
Ball comes out at the end. BYU's got it. Touchdown!
This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, presented by Ken Garff Orem, with your host, the voice of the Cougars, Greg Wrubell.
Good evening and hello once again, Cougar Nation. Welcome back inside the BYU Broadcasting Building for our weekly get-together with the head coach of the Cougars. And if you'd like to be with us here the next time we're together, you can request free seats every Monday before a Tuesday show. Just go to BYUCougars.com/Sitake show to get your seats, but don't go there next week. It's a bye week. We'll be off next Tuesday. As always, we invite BYU fans to join our conversation on Twitter using hashtag Sitake Show. We want your questions, want your comments, want you to tell us from where it is you're tuning in, then watch and listen to see if your tweet is read on the air. To get tonight's show started, let's bring on out the man with his name on the show logo. He is the head coach of the Cougars, your team leader, Kalani Sitake. How you doing? Always repping.
Yes. I mean, I went with the sweats today.
It's a good look.
Yeah, well, I just cover up the calves a little bit. It's getting a little cold. So, and you notice I lost my voice.
We noticed at halftime last week that you kind of lost your voice.
I thought I'd recover, but I guess practices were kind of needed my voice a little bit more. So we'll see how it goes this week.
You've been doing a little bit of yelling.
No, I was just singing. There's some stuff to get fixed.
So you're repping the Y. These fans are repping the Y. And, yeah, they're...
Thank you.
Kind of nice to, regardless of the outcome, come in here and kind of get juiced up and feel the vibe of Cougar fans on hand, that they're doing their part.
Of course, and it was awesome in the stadium on Saturday, last weekend, and just want to thank the fans for being there and giving us a huge advantage. I think that just the noise level was awesome. It's just so nice to see, and it was a huge advantage for us, and obviously got our defense motivated, and they love that. The new guys didn't have that experience against Portland State, and so now having all our fans and school in and having the rock there, and it was just a really cool experience with the Cougar walk and everything. So thank you very much to all the fans, and very disappointed we couldn't deliver a win for you, but hopefully we can get one this weekend.
Well, yeah. You've been here before in that early in the season. Last year you found yourselves at 1-2 and you bounced back. And you expect to do the same again this week and moving forward. It's a 1-2 start, not what you'd envisioned, but your team has shown resilience and you hope they do it again.
Yeah, that's part of football. Obviously nobody wants to start like that in the hole, and I think that the disappointing part is what we won't know because of some of the issues that we've had on offense. But I was really proud of the effort of our guys and playing hard, and this is on me and the coaching staff. The players have enough talent to win games, and we have the effort was unbelievable. So this one. That's my fault, and I promise we'll get it better.
We're going to get to a few of the particulars of the Utah game. As you reflect back on it, what do you think it really came down to in the end?
Well, I think turnovers had a I mean, I think last week we talked about that being the most important stat other than the score, but the fact that our defense played hard in the red zone and held them to one touchdown and the field goals, I mean, that was nice. We had a chance to win at the end, so had the ball. I mean, it was looking like it was going to be one of those moments, the last drive, and just couldn't capitalize. We had some mistakes and just don't want to be in that position towards the end of the game, and we obviously need to play better. I thought the defense and special teams played well enough for us to win, and our offense needs to match those other two phases.
You came off the field at halftime and told our audience that you'd gone, I think at that point, 8 straight quarters without a touchdown. And at this business, it's going to be hard to win too many games if that kind of streak is what you're putting out there offensively. Yeah,
and then the causes. I mean, I heard on the sideline, defense we need to score, special teams we need to score. That's not how it works. Everyone, we talked about last week, everyone's got to do their 111 and do their job. And our defense got a couple turnovers, and so it was nice for them to have that and get us shorter fields. But Johnny didn't run a fake punt on his own, which was a positive. But I think he was tempted on the first one, and I almost was cheering for him to possibly do it, but but it was. I mean, it was a fun game. Obviously, not great because we lost, but just extremely proud of our players and definitely very thankful that we have great fans that we do. And it was a really cool night. It was deafening. The noise was unbelievable and just made me want to play again. I mean, even in pregame, I was getting pumped up, and as a coach, and just so thankful to our fans. And I just, like I said, I'm getting sick of apologizing to them, but it'd be nice to start getting back on the win column.
I noticed that you came out before the team Saturday night. You came out a little bit ahead of them, through the tunnel. And I saw kind of like a player's mentality come out in you. You were ready. You were fired up and ready to roll.
I know. I was ready to put on a helmet and go, But I think that all the fans, you could feel it in that stadium. It was a really cool moment. And, there's a lot of noise, a lot of energy. And so we're going to need that again this weekend. It's going to be in the daytime, so it'll be nice and not as hot as Portland State. I'm looking at the weather already, so I'm just trying to convince the fans to do it again, please. And it's just a huge boost for our players, and if it gets me fired up as a coach, and imagine what it does for our players, and I think our fans kind of feed our players energy, and so it was nice. I mean, we had an opportunity on defense, had to stop them. Had to stop Utah to get the ball back, and it was really close, and the 4th and 1 and things like that I give a lot of credit for our fans making all that noise.
The offense did give the fans things to cheer in the second half. You scored 13 points, gave yourself a shot late in that game to win it, and it seemed that there's a rhythm. I was able to observe it and see kind of a rhythm offensively as BYU put a little run together. It was fun to see the tempo kind of pick up a little bit and BYU start making plays down the field.
Yeah, and you saw Ula came in, gave us a good, good lift also, and so I think the big mistake was having not getting points out of that one drive in the red zone, and then that we got a touchdown called back because of a penalty on a pick play, and we practiced that probably 20 times last week, and just a simple mistake made. You're not supposed to engage with the defender and put your hands on it. He's supposed to run a route, and really didn't need to put his hands on the defender, but it was an illegal pick, and so that tough lesson to learn, but we had mistakes throughout the game that cost us, but when it all comes down to it, I got to get the guys to play better, and I got to get them so that we can be more effective as a team, as a unit, and not have to come back from behind and win games, and this week we're committed to making that happen.
I guess we shouldn't be surprised that it was a BYU-Utah game that came down to a final possession again. They seem to always do that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of knew, even when the score, I think the score was 16-0 for a little bit, right? And you just kind of knew that there was always a chance we could come back and get it. And when we had the ball on the 9-yard line, felt really good about possibly marching down and scoring. But it wasn't in the cards, and we'll have to improve on it. I just don't think we should ever have to rely on that to help win games on the last drive. So I'd rather just get the win and secure it and celebrate with the fans.
We saw Ula Tolutau kind of have his breakout game. You told us afterward that he'd been kind of dinged during camp a little bit, so been a little slower developing to get him to go. Once he got going, he was fun to watch. Yeah,
and I think it's hard because a lot of fans want to know why certain guys aren't playing and things like that. And he's been kind of dinged up and had a rough camp, but he's a big kid that is finally close to 100%, and I'm really excited about him being able to play against the school that he signed at. So it's going to be a lot of fun this Saturday, and this could be like his coming up party.
Yeah, out of East High School, right? And then signed with Wisconsin.
Yes, and then came home from a mission and recruited us. So
Ula's feeling better. How'd the team come out of the Utah game generally?
Well, there's a few guys that are we're still day to day. I mean, injuries are hard because people tell you what the outcome is, and they give you maybe a diagnosis of what it is, and you get other opinions. But there's some guys that are still day to day. I mean, I saw Reno Mahe get his appendix taken out, and they said he wouldn't be able to play, and then he was there playing the next day. So we'll see what happens. A lot of the crazy things can happen with the body, but if guys can't go, then we'll have to move on and get the next guy ready.
Wisconsin is next, and it's jersey retirement day, and 3 jerseys to be retired. 1 jersey number, the number 6. It's Mark Wilson, it's Robbie Bosco, it's Luke Staley. So a special Saturday is coming up here for the fans and the team.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, I know I watched Mark when I was little, right? And I know Robbie, he was a quarterback's coach, and I watched him win national championship, and obviously teammate of Luke Staley. So just happy for those guys, and we're getting a lot of guys with their numbers retired, but I'm running out of jersey numbers for my players, So that's a good sign, though, that we have a lot of guys that are going into the Hall of Fame and having that legendary status, and I'm really happy for those guys. And Luke's a teammate of mine. He deserves it, especially with a lot of the injuries that he had to overcome, and so just really pleased for those guys.
And Trey Dye was wearing the 6, which his dad James wore, and he was switched to a 4 this year as a result, right? Yeah, I told him that he can have the honorary retirement also. Him and James Dye can be they can put their name up there with those guys if they want. The number 6 going up on the stadium this Saturday. All right, we're taking our first break on the show. We'd like you to know that you can enjoy a full hot breakfast buffet, dinner Monday through Wednesday, a kitchen, and a large grassy backyard along the Provo River Trail, all at the Residence Inn Marriott in Provo. When we come back, it's Wisconsin week, so we'll have a bit about the Badgers. This is BYU football with Kalani Sitake.
No matter what stage you're at in life, you're always looking to take the next step forward. At Deseret First Credit Union, we want to take each and every next step with you. With low auto loan rates, you can be ready to see what's around every new corner, and amazing rates on home mortgages, so you can move up to something you've always dreamed of. Deseret First Credit Union, with you every financial step of the way. Membership and eligibility required. Equal housing lender.
Car's all packed. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You have everything you need?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you forgot this.
Thanks.
Hey, you can do this.
Thanks, Dad.
Let's go, Joe! We're gonna be late for the game!
Well, heard mother. Gotta go. Thank you for watching Cosmo for us this weekend. Now remember, you only like sparkling water, room temperature. Make sure he wears his sweater.
Go!
Gotta go.
Go Cougs!
Go Cougs!
Go Cougs! Come on, Cosmo.
All righty. All right, sweetheart, we are gonna go see a game.
Go!
And App Envy. Watch BYU Sports Nation on BYU TV and BYU radio apps.
I didn't think that would go public.
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is presented by Ken Garff Nissan of Orem, a proud supporter of BYU and the Cougar community. We hear Cougs.
BYU football with Kalani Sitake, the head coach of the Cougars, and a couple of hundred BYU fans with us here in Studio C. Well, the Cougars coming into this week at 1-2 on the season, hosting a third straight team that finds itself in this week's national rankings, the top 10 Wisconsin Badgers, making a rare visit to the Mountain Time Zone. And Kalani, it's a big challenge out of the Big Ten.
Yeah, a lot of fun and a power run team, you know, so big boys. They got a lot of size up front on D-line and O-line, and they like to run the ball. So I think their starting running back got 200 yards last week, and the backup had 100. So it's a good system that they run, and Coach Chris is a really good coach, and he has a great staff there.
Yeah, two backs hit the century mark. One goes over 200, and that's Jonathan Taylor. Taylor's 7th nationally in yards per game, rush yards per game coming into this week. Wisconsin as a team is 13th nationally in rush yards per game, but no surprise, Kalani, that's Wisconsin football.
Yeah, they hang their hat on the run game, and they build their pass game off of the run, play action, a lot of different looks, but they're going to put in 2 tight ends, sometimes 3, and they'll run right at you. So it'll be a good test for our defense.
The kid on the right there, Shaw, didn't play in the second game, did play in the first week, so his status for the BYU game, maybe not totally determined, but those 2 other guys did pretty well without Shaw this past weekend as they had a huge day. Wisconsin as a team ran for 357 yards in the win over Florida Atlantic this past weekend. Now, you worked with Gary Anderson, of course, at Utah and at Oregon State, and he went to Wisconsin for a short time before going to Corvallis. And I guess you could say, did Wisconsin kind of fit him identity-wise, even though he wasn't there very long?
No, I think, I can't speak for him, but he's a good friend of mine, you know, but I think he really wanted to be out west and be out in this area, you know, out in the coast. And so I think that be closer to home, you want to be close to his family out this way. So I think that was a good move for him, you know, but he loved his time in Wisconsin and had a lot of great people there. I know on his staff right now, he has a lot of people. His graduate assistants are former players. And if you know Coach Anderson, he loves his players too. So they'll always have that relationship.
I was in Corvallis from Sunday night through this morning, and I was talking to some people out there in the department, and they said they miss you. We're glad we've got you, but they miss you out there at Oregon State.
Yeah, it was a quick year, and I still own a house in Corvallis. So if anybody's looking to move there and buy a house, let me know. It's really nice. So.
Have you been renting? Yeah,
we rented a friend of ours, and so I met great people there, and there's a good amount of BYU fans there too. So. I miss those guys, but I love being here in Provo.
You were there with Coach Tuiaki, of course. You both came together. When you got the BYU job, did you know that E was somebody you wanted with you?
Yeah, and so those are the E Tuiaki and Ed Lamb and Ty Detmer guys that I really reached out and tried to sell to get here. But I was shocked when Ed he was all in, you know. So, in fact, when he committed to come to BYU, he got other job offers along the way, and he just stuck with it, and this is where he wants to be, and he believes in what we can build here. So I appreciate him and E. Tuiaki and Ty being here, and the other coaches on our staff.
And you're all game planning for Wisconsin. It is Wisconsin week, and Badger Nation travels really, really well. They don't come west too often, but when they do, they bring a ton of people and fill stadiums.
Yeah, and I know our fans will take care of them. I got a lot of good feedback from Mississippi State fans when they came and visited last year, and they said it was one of the best experiences they've had, and mostly because of the treatment that they received from our fans in our stadium. A lot of them said they got free ice cream too, so I'm just wondering why the head coach doesn't get free ice cream in the stadium, you know, so probably need to win, and I expect some ice cream when we get to win.
Our player guest coming up in the next segment is linebacker Butch Pau'u, one of your team captains. What are some of the reasons that Butch was kind of a natural pick for the captaincy role this year?
Well, he takes the initiative. There's things that he just knows what we expect and what we need. And I'll give you an example in this game. at halftime, I was getting ready to, to speak to the team about and just try to get them jump started. And he'd already started it. And as he was talking to the team, I didn't feel like it was really necessary for me to really butt in. I just let him finish it off, and I said, "Let's go." That he took everything that I was going to say, and it's nice when he can just read my mind and deliver it. And then he didn't have to wait. He didn't feel like he had to get permission from it. And a lot of our guys on our team, they step up and they lead the way, and they don't need me to be the guy that jump starts them. I think that it was a right move for him to lead the team and to say something at halftime, and obviously the players respond better. So I expect all our leaders to step up and do that. And we have a culture where we feel like if you feel that you should say something, then let's go. And this is not going to be just like I'm going to be the guy talking. Obviously, I lose my voice easily, so it's not like I enjoy standing up there and talking all the time. And so it's nice to have leaders and guys that have sacrificed or served missions and done great things in the community to be able to lead this team as well.
Well, Butch Powell is coming up next. We at Ken Garff Nissan of Orem are improving things for our customers. To see how, come visit our showroom located on University Parkway. Ken Garff, We Hear Cougs, right after this. He is joining us live here in Studio C. Junior linebacker and team captain Butch Powell visiting with the coach and me, taking your questions as well. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
You're watching Super Tuesday on BYU TV, presented by Siegfried & Jensen.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been seriously injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies and protect your legal rights.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
I just love football so much, I don't think I could be without it. If it was up to me, I'd play until I died.
The BYU TV Sports Game Day Replay. Wisconsin versus BYU, 10 p.m. Mountain, Saturday on BYU TV.
There's not so much a BYU Sports Nation dance, per se, but Jerem can't stand it when it's really quiet. So he'll turn on some music, and then it's just like, just move the shoulders a little bit.
He gave you a dance move? What in the world are you talking about?
And I'm looking so just not cool right now.
He did that for the cameras. That does not happen. This would be Spencer's. It'd be the stanky leg. Okay. Not mine, Spencer's.
That's what we do. We just want to relax.
My name is Eric Dowdle. As an artist, I've been lucky enough to travel all over the world and meet some of the greatest and most interesting people. Spending time with the locals and learning their history allows me to discover the heart of each city. Each place has a unique story to tell, and I get to tell that story in a one-of-a-kind piece of art. I hope you'll join me on Painting the Town.
You lied to us. I brought you here because I was ordered to do so. I am sorry for your loss.
I'm Tanner Mangum, and you're watching BYU TV Sports.
Welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, with your host, Greg Wrubell.
We are back inside Studio C. Go to BYUCougars.com/Sitake Show to get free seats and be in our live audience every week, and use hashtag Sitake Show for a chance to see your question asked during our Q&A sessions. Well, after BYU's season opener, he became known as Neil Pau'u's big brother. But, of course, he's made a name for himself since first arriving at BYU back in 2012. One of the team's heaviest hitters and top tacklers, Butch Powell, was this season voted a captain and is one of the focal points on another tough BYU defense. Please welcome to Studio C, out of Anaheim, California, the happiest linebacker on earth, Butch Powell. Yeah, Butch, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Ready? All right, so Anaheim, California. Is that still where you consider home, or are there other cities that you kind of are attached to?
No, Anaheim, California will forever be home.
Okay, and your high school was?
Servite High School.
What kind of reputation does Servite have down there?
In regards to football, they're tough every year. They compete. They play in the Trinity League. We play against Mater Dei, St. John Bosco. We're always playing against D1 athletes, and so when you go to Servite, you're expected to play at a high level, and that's what we do.
So I mentioned 2012. You've been here a while when you throw a mission, and you've been here a little while, haven't you?
Yeah, it's weird to go and to talk to freshmen in certain classes, and they say, "Hey, I'm a freshman. I'm 18 years old." And I'm like, "Wow, yeah, you're really young." And so I've been here a while, but I'm loving every single minute of it.
You mentioned, I think it was during your high school career, you were on the field. You got to be on the field with a brother and a cousin, and it was kind of a family affair. Give us a sense of your upbringing and the number of siblings and how cool it's been to play alongside a sibling at this level even.
Yeah, so I'm the oldest of 5. I have my younger brother next, Neil, who's here playing receiver. I have a younger sister who just got home from her mission, Rachel Pa'u. She's playing basketball out in San Francisco. And then the 2 youngest, the twin girls, they're actually here at BYU now. And so we're all in college. It's weird. I took them out to lunch and just staring across the table, I was like, wow, you guys are in college. That makes me feel even older. But, you know, life was fun. I mean, we have 2 loving parents, my mom and dad, Tupo and Wepi, who come to every home game. They'll drive out 8-9 hours and then drive back the following Sunday.
They're still living out there then?
Yes, so they still live out there and they drive out every game and then drive back the following Sunday. And their whole thing is they don't want to miss a game while we're playing. They haven't missed it, well, my mom at least. When my dad was working, my mom never missed a practice growing up in Pop Warner or in high school. My dad has always been my linebacker coach growing up, and so I kind of learned everything from him. And I managed to come here and managed to bring my brother along too, thanks to Coach. And now it's just fun to see him on the field playing and balling out, basically.
So, Kalani, there are no more Pa'u siblings to recruit, but you love this family, clearly.
Oh, yeah, and one of the most athletic families. I mean, I think his sisters are more athletic than him and Neil.
True, very true, very true.
And I mean, you see them, they're a basketball playing family, they're explosive, and so I just love having them around. And Butch is the best example of what we want here at BYU with his humility and the way that he plays the game. He has a lot of fun. You can't help but smile when you watch him play. And so I love seeing him be the happiest mean guy on the field. It's nice.
we may see a family picture that shows the whole Pa'u clan, and Neil sprouted up a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, for some reason he's the tallest of the family. He's 6'4". I always ask Heavenly Father, why did you give him all the height and you could not give me any? I mean, he has the height, the looks, the athleticism, the smarts. I mean, what'd you give me? I mean, oh yeah, he's the one. He's the black sheep of the family. You can see him over everyone else. That's Neil, and so that's. I mean, even with family photos that we take now, he's like all the short guys up front, and so it's us 6 and then my brother in the back, just standing over everyone smiling, but that's him.
What is your official height, by the way?
I'm 5'11", and with cleats and helmet, I hope to be like 6'2". So.
Kalani, he packs a lot into 5'11", doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's instinctive. He understands the game really well, and he played running back, so he understands how it works on the other side. But his work ethic is unbelievable. He works hard all the time, and the stuff that he does, I'll say it out in public because nobody talks about all the charity that he does and the service that he does. He won an award when I first got here, a Y award for service, being a student athlete that had the best example of service. And I get emails and messages and cards all talking about things that Butch did. I mean, if someone has some kind of event, they'll ask, and Butch will always be there. And you know, we've had a lot of people that have suffered a lot, and Butch is always there to help them and help them ease their pain. And he's been a great example and the True Blue hero and everything. So I love this guy, and it just makes sense that he's a captain for us.
Well, you're very talented at football, obviously. What are the other talents you like to develop in your spare time?
I'm a big fan of playing the piano. I started playing when I was 8, and my parents just said, play the piano because it's going to help you out on the mission. And so it was nice. Oh, yeah, there's a video, of course. Yeah, there I was playing the piano and the girl next to me was singing. And so we were just having a good time playing around, messing around. And so whenever I have some free time, whenever I'm not doing anything, I'll find a piano in one of the billion of classes that they have here because they're everywhere and just start playing. And I'll play for like an hour and just lose myself playing. And so
I know somebody here on campus who's so sad because he was in a religion class with you and the teacher would ask for a piano volunteer and you never jumped up and said, pick me.
Because there's 60 other people there that know how to play too. So they were all jumping, raising their hands, so let them do it. Go ahead.
Taking you back to the high school days, were you always going to be a BYU guy? How was the recruiting process for you?
So the recruiting process was very tough, especially when it came to BYU. Freshman year, I got to play my last year, or the last game on varsity in the sophomore year. Started varsity, but I didn't see any interest from BYU. I didn't see any letters. Matter of fact, LSU and UCLA were the two schools that were sending letters and sending interest. And so it wasn't until at the end of my junior year that BYU finally started showing up. And it was nice because when BYU showed up, they showed up to both me and Jeremiah Leuta, who played here, number 43. And so Jeremiah was getting recruited by a lot of other schools. And so I was trying to bring Jeremiah over. I mean, I go to a Catholic school, and Jeremiah was like, yeah, you know, like, I don't know if I can do it at a Mormon school. And we just started talking, and my parents started talking to their parents, and it got to the point where the parents felt comfortable enough when they came over and just felt the love that they felt here. They were like, yeah, this is a place that Maya should be at. But Maya was still kind of doubting everything. And out of nowhere, Maya just sent me a text saying, hey, I'm going to come to BYU with you. And so that's when we both called Bronco Mendenhall right away and committed, and we came here together in 2012.
Now, it's fun to play with a buddy, but it's a lot more fun to play with a brother.
Yeah.
And so now, I mean, playing with Neil in high school is one thing. At this level, though, it's a whole different deal. How cool is it to see Neil in his first game, really, as a player for the team, go out and do this in the season opener?
You know, it's really, really awesome because he put in so much effort this offseason. Not very many people know Neil's story, but Neil was recruited more as a basketball player than a football player. And he played receiver, he played safety, he played quarterback, a lot of positions in high school. And so his heart was set to basketball, but basketball didn't end up happening. And so a couple schools offered him, and then thankfully BYU offered him. But what happened was he came back home from his mission last year, just sat out, just started working incredibly hard the entire offseason. And then it wasn't until he came to school in January where you saw him, and right after class, he would go to Vasa, go do footwork, and then he would go to sleep, wake up, go to workouts, go to school, and then do the same thing again. And it wasn't until summer that you would see him work even harder, where we're big fans of Kobe Bryant. And so Kobe Bryant had this mentality of, I'll wake up at 4 o'clock, I'll then rest, I'll start working again at 8, I'll work again at 2, I'll work again at 6. And that's what Neil was trying to do. He was just trying to work himself hard enough to where he could get a spot on the field. And it all paid off, and you saw that he moves really well in space. And so the hope is that he continues to work hard. We talk about being perfect, and so all I want for him is to continue to be perfect on the practice field so that he can be perfect in the games.
Really instinctive wide receiver. And Kalani, 2 pa'u's better than 1, I guess, right?
Yeah, and they're athletic, and they love the game. And you hear Butch brag about his brother, but the work ethic is there, and that's a huge compliment to their family, their parents. And so, yeah, I love having them on the team, and you know, we got to give them the ball more.
Long before you were a team captain, you picked up a nickname. They called you Cap, right?
Yeah, it was kind of annoying at first because I was like, no, I'm not a captain. You guys, I'm just another guy who's trying to help this team get to where we need to be and where we deserve to be. And for some reason, it stuck. And I mean, just the entire offseason, everyone kept saying Cap, Cap, Cap. I'm like, no, you guys, let's lead together, let's play together, because this is a team sport. I'm not your captain. If anyone's going to be a captain, it's going to be Fred. We all know that. And so, I mean, out of nowhere, I was thankfully chosen as captain. And I mean, the only thing I can say is that we're going to continue to play hard and continue to play well.
So which nickname do you like better, Cap or the Butcher?
I will have to say the Butcher because I'm not a fan of Captain.
But he's a great captain, Kalani.
He's a great captain. I shared the experience at Utah, the Utah game, and how he took over at halftime, and yeah, he can do that anytime. I mean, those captains do a great job at leading, and that's why his teammates voted him to be a captain, even as a junior.
All right, more with Butch Pau'u is coming up, and Cougar fans get their crack at BYU starting middle linebacker. Questions from our audience and social media next. This is BYU football with Kalani Sitake.
BYU Food to Go's convenient location at 2191 North Canyon Road in Provo makes bringing popular BYU foods to your next event easy. Everything's ready when you need it at the drive and load pickup. You drive in and they load no matter the weather. And stop in the on-site creamery for great BYU chocolate milk and ice cream. BYU Food to Go, bringing campus to your table. Call for details, 801-422-5001.
160,000 miles. That's on average how often you'll use your car insurance. But what if you could get help with more often? And you could also save a couple of bucks on clothes or at restaurants. Skip the line at the DMV. Even get rescued roadside. You can when you're a member and your insurance is AAA. Insurance that's not just insurance.
Welcome to a partnership where customer experience comes first. It's our focus. It's your expectation. We provide support to those that go the extra mile for all of us. Supplying products, training, and service for generations. Learn more at bradyindustries.com.
Next time on Studio Say, we're all going to be covered in dirt and trash. So, nothing new, really.
Right. Just a typical Wednesday.
To be good at anything, I believe you have to give your all, your 100%.
The BYU TV Sports Post Game, Wisconsin versus BYU, Saturday after the game on BYU TV.
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is presented by Ken Garff Honda of Orem, a proud supporter of BYU and the Cougar community. We hear Cougs.
All right, our Butch Pau'u guest segment will continue. Some Q&A coming up in a second for Butch. Our Cougars in the NFL this past weekend, opening weekend of the National Football League, Kyle Van Noy, the night after that Patriots opener, gets a nice contract extension. Jamal Williams gets his first pro carries in Green Bay. Ziggy Ansah finally ready to play again, doing his thing. And Daniel Sorensen, part of that big win over the Patriots for the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, Butch Pau'u is our guest with us. And Butch, you guys are coming off a tough game this past weekend. BYU falling at home to Utah by a score of 19-13. Your thoughts as you look back on what transpired this past Saturday and how you maybe learn and grow from it?
Yeah, you know what I saw from the defense is we played an extremely hard game. I mean, you allow those guys 4 field goals and a touchdown. You're playing pretty solid defense. We feel as a defense that we could have stopped them from even getting past the 50, but not doing our assignments and not being at the right spot at the right time allowed them to get down the field and to score field goals. But I mean, we had 2 takeaways, 2 fumble recoveries, a huge stop on 4th down. And, I mean, you saw our defense flying around and having fun, and that's the emphasis that Coach had this week. And so that mentality is carrying over to this week where all the guys on the defense are saying, let's have fun, let's continue to play, but most importantly, let's do our job so that we can get this W this week.
Kalani, what have you seen from your guys in practice defensively this week?
Oh, yeah, they've been consistent, and I think Butch explained it perfectly because the guys were, you know, in the game, they're just on it. I mean, there were a couple plays where they were called out on the field in a short field, you know, and to hold a team at 9-yard line to a field goal. I mean, that's tough to do, but they didn't bat an eye. They just got out there and they responded. We call it like the firefighter mentality, that they were out there ready to go, and I'm really proud of them for not being divisive. You know, those guys are all about the team and uniting the group and encouraging our offense, and because of the way they play, the way that the way that they were as teammates, it brought our offense back, and hopefully we can get this thing going and play full 60 minutes and perform a lot better this weekend.
Butch, Wisconsin week, they give you a different look than Utah, obviously, but they love to tote it and pound it, and they're a good running team, as you know. The challenge of stopping a great run team like Wisconsin this week.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that we're excited about Wisconsin is, like you said before, is that they love to run the ball. And when a team loves to run the ball, that means that their offensive line, they're pretty sturdy up front. And so one of the strengths that I feel like BYU has always had is their defensive line, and I feel like our defensive line is very strong and just very powerful and can knock guys back. And so you see that with Kairos Tonga, you see that with Sione Takitaki, you see that with Handsome Tanielo, Kesney. I can go name all of our defensive linemen, Solo, Vita, anyone, Corbett, Trajan. I mean, all of those guys do a great job up front. And so we know that this week, I mean, pretty much every week, but there's an emphasis on this week where these guys need to make sure that they don't get, that their offensive line basically doesn't carry it to the second level, or if they do, that they go make the play. Because if they can stop their guys from getting to the linebackers, from Fred, Matt Hadley and I, then we can make plays for them. And so whenever we make a play, we say, thank you guys. We came free on that one. We came free on the blitz, or in the hole we filled right, and that's all thanks to you guys. And so we just continue to remind them that it's basically on their shoulders to lead this team, this defense.
Heck of a challenge this week. Now, you like your head coach. You like Kalani, right?
Yes, sir.
But he's admittedly not your favorite Kalani, is he?
It's okay.
Yeah, you know, I am happy to say that I'm engaged to Kalani Purcell, who's playing basketball out in Australia. She's just waking up right now. The time difference is tough at times, but it's really fun. We talk a lot, and she's an athlete, so she understands the mentality of go out and perform and play well, play for your teammates. And so she continues to support me, and I continue to support her with her whole basketball career in Australia, and hopefully she can come play WNBA out here. And so, yeah, I'd have to say that I choose her over this Kalani.
So a little bit more about Kalani Purcell. Of course, she played at BYU.
Yes, sir.
And she's now playing for the Melbourne Boomers of the WNBL. She had an exhibition game on the weekend, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals in around 20 minutes. So she is a player. As we knew that here at BYU, and she's doing it down there now. Long-distance relationship for you guys right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. One of the things that I was a huge fan of was coming and watching her play here and watching every single one of her games. I mean, you could ask their coaches. I was the loudest person on the court, or in the stands at least. And so not being able to do that is kind of tough, but, you know, that's how life is. I mean, she has the mindset of being able to pursue a career, and I'm not going to stop her from that, from chasing her dream. And so she's going to do the same with me. And so this long distance thing is going to have to go for a couple years, and we'll see what happens afterwards.
We just got word that Kalani's tuned in right now, and she's waiting for a shout out.
Hey, babe.
All right. By the way, is it okay to share your wedding date?
Yeah, February 9th is when we're getting married out in Hamilton, New Zealand. So if anyone wants to come out there.
Come on down,
Yeah, come on down.
Fly on down. No big deal. All right, well, that's awesome. Kalani Purcell and Butch Pa'u getting married on February 9th. All right, let's have the audience get some reps with Butch Pa'u. Let's go to a studio audience question. We've got Echo Peterson. Echo is on the mic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
So my question for Butch is, do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions?
Pre-game rituals. So I'm a fan of tuning out everything. So basically either doing homework, going to sleep, hanging out with everyone, playing cards. And then it isn't until we get off the bus, go through the Cougar walk, or right when we're on the bus is when I start dialing it in. And so right when we're on the bus, that's when I'm reading a text message from my mom and dad, who both send my brother and I text every game. Something we've been doing since high school. So they'll send me a text, I'll read that, begin to go over my assignments, and then right when we get off the bus is when it's showtime. It's time to play.
Echo, thank you for the question. Appreciate that. From Twitter, question for Butch. This is from @Ryben3. Which NFL player do you model your hard hitting after, if there is one?
You know, a guy in college that I saw that was really instinctive and played really hard and played really well and is actually playing right now is Denzel Perriman. He played at Miami, and he got drafted by the Chargers, and he's a guy that I look up to. I mean, you talk about a guy who brings physicality every play. That's someone that does it. About the same in stature, and I think one of his strengths is he's very instinctive, and I feel like that's one of my strengths too.
Kalani, does he remind you of anybody? Does Butch remind you of anybody at his position, his size, how he plays?
Yeah, I mean, Shea Mirbrook is a guy that played a very similar way, and I hate to say that, but because I think Butch has a lot of things that benefit him. He's a little bit more distinct because he played running back, but his style is nice. I mean, I think he's a unique player. When we first showed up and I got the job, I saw him running around. I noticed his athleticism, and then he's really explosive and strong in the weight room, and you know, it all transfers over to him hitting. I mean, he can deliver a great shot in such a short distance, and that's a lot of power packed into this body. And you know, I look forward to him doing it a lot more. I mean, we saw a lot of that, you know, in his career already as a linebacker, and he's got a lot more plays to make.
We look forward to those plays being made by Butch Pau'u. Butch Pau'u is our guest tonight. How about a hand for Butch, folks? That was good stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. All right, at Ken Garff Honda of Orem, we have a brand new dealership. Come see our new showroom floor located on University Parkway. Ken Garff Honda of Orem, we hear Cougs. After the break, your questions for the Cougars head coach from the audience and from Twitter using hashtag Sitake Show. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
I went to BYU with the intention of finishing my degree. Along the way, things got a little bit busy. I always had that idea that I was going to go back, but as a non-traditional student, I just felt that that opportunity was not going to happen until I explored what BGS really offered. The BGS program gave me more flexibility and gave me the education that I wanted. As I was walking to the podium, it was almost surreal. I don't regret getting my degree through BGS.
Game Day Promos helps BYU build the Cougar brand with customized promotional items, blankets, flashlights, balls, almost anything really, to increase fan loyalty and team support. Businesses can do the same thing, carefully selecting items that Game Day Promos can customize with any brand. The result? Gifts to reward customers. Licensed promotional product vendor for BYU, Game Day Promos. Beyond sports, beyond expectations.
Emmy and Tony Award-winning actress and singer Kristen Chenoweth has wowed audiences in film, TV, and on the Broadway stage. That voice you love from Wicked and Glee will captivate you all over again as she performs at the 2017 BYU Spectacular on Saturday, October 7th. Kristen Chenoweth, along with special guest Gentry and BYU Performing Group's Vocal Point, Men's Chorus, Young Ambassadors, and more. BYU Spectacular with Kristen Chenoweth. Tickets on sale today at BYUtickets.com.
Hey, I thought we had movie night. Who are you?
Dad. You know what? That's okay. We'll go upstairs and watch it instead.
Hey guys, you know what? Why don't you guys just have a seat?
Who's 38?
38? That's Butch Pau'u.
Nice.
In the Screen Wars. Watch live games streaming on BYUtv.org and the BYU TV app.
Woo!
You! My fault?
Your fault.
You're right, it's my fault. Maybe both of us?
Snap Mangum. Looks left, looks middle, back pedals, pumps, brings it down, shuffling to his left, throws for the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown by Trey Dye. The Cougars score with 2:38 to play.
That's the Nissan exciting play of the game presented by Nissan, a proud partner of the BYU Cougars. Nissan, innovation that excites. Tanner keeping the play alive and a heck of a throw to Trey Dye. We're back with BYU football with Kalani Sitake here in Studio C. And Kalani, that play right there gave you guys a shot to have the ball in your hands at the end for a chance to win against Utah.
Yeah, it was a great job by Trey. I think he came from on the other side of the field, and our O-line did a great job protecting Tanner, and so when he has time to throw and can set his feet, he's really accurate. And that's a difficult throw to make, and there's a lot of credit to him and Trey for sticking with it.
All right, it's that time on the show when we give BYU fans the floor. It's your chance to go one-on-one with the coach of the Cougars. We have some live audience questions and Twitter questions lined up, so let's go. We're starting off right here in the studio with Kevin Peterson. Kevin.
So, Coach, how is team morale after the rough start, and what can we as fans do to really help get this win this Saturday?
Just do what we did last weekend. That was good, and having all the noise and you know, like I said, the fans, they give a lot of energy to our players, and it's hard not to feel it when you're in that stadium. And so, but the morale's great. We have great leaders. You just heard from Butch, you know, and with him and Fred and Tanner and Tijon leading the way, we have a lot of great guys on this team that take the initiative and make sure that morale's good. So they love football, and we try to have fun with it, but there's frustrations, but you can't let that override the preparation and making sure that you build yourselves positively so you can win next week.
Kevin, thanks. Twitter question, @StanimalD358. He asks, what's the best part of coaching, and what's the hardest part of coaching?
The best part is being with the players. I mean, I love playing the game, and I love being part of the team, and so to be the coach it's a huge honor for me, you know. So I love being around those guys, and they make me feel young, you know. So, but I could feed off of their energy too. So that's the best part. I get to be around the players, and the other best part, I get to be around the fans. And I think I've already told everybody I'm a BYU fan since I was little, you know, since I was born, and so I can connect with a lot of the fans. And when fans share their frustration with me, I get it, you know. I'm there too. So just have a lot of fun. I don't know, what was the most difficult you said?
What's the hardest part?
Losing your voice. And that's about it. I mean, there's nothing that I could say that's negative about this job. I love it, and love being where I'm at, and just have a lot of passion for this place. And BYU changed my life, and so I hope we can get young men, you know, through recruiting to come here and be a part of this, because it's a beautiful place with beautiful fans and a great program.
And I know that BYU fans want you to be where you're at for a long time, and hopefully you get that sense here and other places.
Yeah, thank you. I've never disagreed with you. So there's a 20-year contract I'd love to sign. Just tell me.
Let's stay in studio for the next one here. Andrew Bogus is at the mic. Andrew, hi.
So, Coach, what made the offense perform better later in the game, and how do you think you could facilitate that throughout the whole game?
Well, I think it's not like one single thing, and so when you look at and you evaluate the games, you have to figure out why things are clicking, and a lot of people want to say it's because we went to shotgun more and we changed the tempo, and that has a lot to do with it. But there's also so that every part of it has a piece of the pie. And so we kind of have an idea of what we can do differently and better. Obviously, we think that there's some things that we should have done already in the past, you know, in the LSU game and also in the first half of the game. But there's some things that we can definitely improve on, and it's all there. It's ready for us, and you know, we just have to practice it. And so I think that Ty has done a great job at getting the best guys on the field and trying to motivate them. But you know, we need to run a system that'll get points on the board and win games. And so if that means changing a few things, I mean, it could be scheme, it could be personnel, it could be a lot of different things. But we know what the issues are. I could, you know, you only ask a question, only have a few minutes to answer, but we're on it. You guys just trust us, we're on it, and we've been evaluating it the entire time. And on the other side of that, we're evaluating the defense too. And we're evaluating the issues that lie in defense, creating more disruption and getting more sacks and things like that. And we're also addressing the things that we can improve on the special teams. So that's never ever stopped. It's not like we just after a game we say, okay, this is good enough. You know, we're looking for ways to get better, and it's been consistent ever since we started getting here.
Andrew, thanks for your question. One more segment of Q&A coming up. Fans, if you're looking for an even more convenient way to shop at Smith's, try Smith's Click List. Order online, pick up curbside at the store. Visit smithsfoodanddrug.com/clicklist for details. More of your questions and Coach Sitake's answers coming up after the break. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. We are back right after this.
You have everything you need.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you forgot this.
Thanks.
Hey, you can do this.
Thanks, Dad.
Well, heard mother. Gotta go. Thank you for watching Cosmo for us this weekend. Now remember, you only like sparkling water, room temperature. Make sure he wears his sweater. Gotta go. Go, Cool! Now we are going to go see a game.
Are you preparing
because of natural disasters, or for a power outage, or for economic uncertainties like a job loss. Of all the reasons you prepare, perhaps the most important is you prepare because you care. Emergency Essentials, helping families prepare for over 30 years. Learn more at beprepared.com.
Where are we?
This is Earth, long after human extinction. We will help you restore the human race.
Why would they bring us back?
We are an endangered species. This is the key to changing that.
Everyone makes mistakes, Ezra. But not everyone gets a chance to put them right.
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is presented by Ken Garff Volkswagen of Orem, a proud supporter of BYU and the Cougar community. We hear Cougs.
Last Q&A segment on tonight's show, hashtag Sitake Show tonight, and every week to get your question in for the coach. And we're going right back to our studio microphone. We've got Link Peterson at the mic. Link's ready for a football game right after the show tonight. He's dressed for football. How you doing, Link?
Great. Yeah, my question is, so today's my second game of ever. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, don't forget to put your mouthpiece in. And then, just have fun. Have a great time. And it's a great game, and be safe. But most importantly, just have a great time. And don't worry so much about the score until after.
Okay, Link, thanks for the question. Have a good game tonight. Good luck. All right, time for a final break. Coach's closing comments as the Cougars get ready for Wisconsin. We're back to wrap it up after this. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
You're watching Super Tuesday on BYU TV, presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies. Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork offers a large inventory of Ford vehicles, including a selection of cars and trucks, providing a range of transportation choices. From the Ford Fusion sedan and the Edge crossover SUV to a range of pickups including the F-150. Each product line comes with options to enhance performance, comfort, and safety. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
This squad of kids was something special. I can't say enough good things to enough people about how it changes your life. It asks you to ask more of yourself.
It really is just such a joy-filled experience that it's hard not to smile.
So, why are you doing this? What's your main motivation?
I think if we live in a world when you think about just yourself, the world doesn't become a better place. If no one helped me along the way to get to where I am today, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so I'm very grateful.
I'm Butch Powell, and you're watching BYU TV Sports.
All right, it's been a great show, great night. That's going to do it for us. Kalani, let's say so long. See you, folks. All right, see you next Tuesday on BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. Good night.
I'll take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining from